Namaste. Welcome to our channel. Today I am discussing about the taxation of the non-resident person. A non-resident person is a person who is an individual as per the Income Tax Act, international taxation. A non-resident person is an individual who is not a resident but who is a citizen of India or a person of Indian origin. Non-resident should be an individual. He should be a non-resident. He should be a citizen of India or a person of Indian origin. Citizen of India means a person of citizen of India itself. A person of Indian origin means, as per the FEMAC, person whose father or his parents or his grandparents are resident in India and he is out of the India itself. That is the definition of a non-resident person itself. According to the Income Tax Act, Chapter 12A defines about the taxation of a non-resident person. There is special taxation of a non-resident person itself. Section 115C to 115I describes about all the provisions regarding the non-resident person's taxation itself. Then comes what is the taxation? 115E. 115E says about the taxation of a person. 115E of the Income Tax Act itself. So 115E says that person investment in income from the foreign exchange asset or a long-term capital gain from the foreign exchange asset will be charged under special rate of the taxation under the Income Tax Act. So what is an investment income under the Income Tax Act defined itself? An investment income means interest or a dividend derived from a foreign exchange asset. So it comes on two definitions comes out. Interest or dividend come from the foreign exchange asset itself. Then what is the foreign exchange assets? A foreign exchange assets means an asset acquired by a non-resident person by way of convertible foreign currency itself. Foreign exchange specified asset that is acquired by a non-resident in a convertible foreign currency. A convertible foreign currency means, as per the FEMAC and RBI, it's a currency which can be converted into Indian rupees or Indian rupees into other things as per the FEMAC itself. So that is what's called the convertible foreign currency, investment income and foreign exchange asset. I told about you a specified foreign exchange asset acquired in foreign currency. So what is a specified asset itself? A specified asset means asset acquired by a non-resident person in the following assets. That is, one is shares of an Indian company, the debentures of an Indian company, Indian public company itself, shares of an Indian public company, debentures of an Indian public company, deposits of an Indian public company, and securities issued by the central government under the Public Debts Act itself, and any other things or any other securities that is defined by central government. So these five classes are the shares of Indian public company, debentures of Indian public company, deposits raised by Indian public company, central government securities issued under the Indian Public Debts Act itself, or any other securities that is defined or within the circumstances defined by the central government itself. These are the specified securities. Then comes the taxation rates itself. As per the section 115E, the investment income, that is the interest or dividend received from a specified assets, foreign assets itself, shall be charged to a rate of 20% taxation rate itself. And the long-term capital gains on this foreign assets will be charged at the rate of 10%. And this 10% is that without any indexation itself. Indexation is not possible for the indexation is possible as per section capital gain itself, but indexation is not possible as per section 115E. 10% is charged only without indexation, and 20% of the interest or dividend that is received from the foreign assets. And investment income rate is 20% is that without any kind of expenses charged on it. So no kind of expenses can be taken on it. It is the gross investment income on which 20% is charged itself. 20% and 10%. As per section 115I, a non-resident can also opt under the normal income tax slab rates itself. He can opt under normal rates, but he should have to show that in his return of income that is he is charging under the normal rate of income tax act itself. So he will be not charged under the special rate of income tax, that is 10%, 20%. He will be charging under the normal rate of income tax act itself. As per section 115F of the Income Tax Act, if a long-term capital gain has been acquired to a non-resident person, the shares of the specified assets has been sold by him, then he will be applicable for the 10% rate itself. But he can get an exemption under that Income Tax Act. Under section 115F, the exemption comes in that if that invested long-term capital gains, so the sale proceeds has been invested in shares of an Indian company or debentures of an Indian public company or deposits of an Indian public company or the central government securities issued under the Public Debts Act or any other securities as per defined under the central government. In these five kind of securities, it has been invested, then the taxation on the long-term capital gain can be exempted for the non-resident person itself. Then the exemptions position is at 115F itself. If the whole sale proceeds has been invested in exempted securities itself, then whole the capital gain can be exempted. Or if a part of a sale proceeds is only invested in that securities itself, then the proportion that will be only got as an exemption itself. So if the whole is invested, the whole exemption can be got, or part of the net consideration is made, that only can be got as the exemption itself. Non-resident person can get the benefit of the double taxation avoidance agreement. Most of the countries in the world has got an agreement within double taxation. So if the taxation rate in that country is lesser, he can opt for the double taxation avoidance agreement and not pay. He can file the income tax act return under that, but he can opt for the double taxation and he can avail the benefit of the lower tax rate in that country itself. If that country's tax rate is more, he can avail for this special rate of income tax for the non-resident. So both of the things can be opted for the non-resident person. That is just opted in, that is can be told in the return of income itself only. As I told you that we could get an exemption, sale proceeds are invested in the specified securities itself. But if the under section 115H itself, specified securities investment we have made is not kept for the 3 years, or if it has been sold before the 3 years, then on that day, on that year of that sale, it will be taxable. So if suppose if I just got sold my specified securities, I had invested as an exemption under Ventures in Indian company. If that securities has been sold out me within the 3 years of the deposit or the invested amount, then that invested amount will be taxable in the year of the sale itself. So it should be kept for the lock-in period is 3 years. That's in short itself, the lock-in period is for the 3 years itself. Then the non-resident person also benefit if he should not file the return of income, if the income is from the invested investment or the long-term capital gains and the TDS is acquired by or deducted by the person who is just giving the invested income or the long-term capital gains, then he will have to show that in the return of income. He will not have to file return of income itself. Non-resident person, if this comes back to India, the invested income in his specified assets can be maintained in that status quo itself. That is, it can maintain in the non-resident status itself. It can be only possible if the invested income is from the debentures of the Indian company, deposits of the Indian company, or the central government securities or any other specified securities. The invested income from the shares is not possible. So if a person comes back from India and he just become a resident, his invested income from the debentures, deposits and central government securities and the other securities can be retained in that status quo itself, but he should show that in the return of income for as much as years as is required. But the invested income from the shares could not be made in the status quo itself, which should be converted into the resident status itself. Thank you for watching my video. Hope that everyone has liked this video. Please provide as much as likes as possible. Share this video and subscribe this video. Once again, wait for my future videos. Thanking you once again, Ratish.